Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Music and Mixing. I am DJ Michael Joseph, your host, and this show is about two things, music and mixing, because I'm a freaking genius. I'm being silly right now. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the chat tonight, see what's going on with everybody. I got to open the chat up first, so let's do that. I'm like a step behind everything tonight for some reason. But I hope you all are doing well. Tonight is a very good topic. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. If you've never watched the show before, I'm opening stuff up. I apologize. If you've never watched the show before, one of the things we always do is we take a few seconds at the top of the hour and we welcome people into the chat, say hello, let them get in there before we start our madness, as I move 20 screens around all the time. If I can get all my screens to open up at once. And there we go. We got everything going on there. Got some people watching. Thank you guys so much. So how's everybody doing this happy St. Patrick's Day? As you see, I have some green on tonight. I just want to point out the fact that I own one green shirt, and I wear it once a year, and I wash it once a year. And as you can tell by the crackberry reference on the shirt, that it's very, very old. It was bought for me by someone, and it's how old it is. All right, Todd and Steve's here. What's going on, Todd? How are you? Feel free if you're in the chat to say hello, say where you're from. I'll give you a shout out, that sort of thing. Make sure everyone's hearing me and seeing me well. I think I'm finally getting the whole studio set up kind of the way I want, with better lighting and better sound and the camera set up so I can set it up, tear it down real quick. If you watched my stream the other night on Twitch, I did the stream across that way with a whole new setup. So slowly trying to get things updated. I think I'm going to probably do some work on the studio too. There's a chance that picture is going away, that one right there, and that's going away. Maybe, I don't know, maybe put a TV there to show something in the background or something. I don't know. All right, Ken is calling. Yeah, Ken is calling from Florida. Ken, how are you? No, Ken is tuned in from Florida. Like I said, I can see pretty much everything in the chat. I think we're in 9 different places tonight. Ken is on Facebook. Todd's on YouTube. Howie's on YouTube. Depending on where you're watching, if you want to get in the live chat, I can see the comments that you send no matter where you send them. But if you want to jump in the quick chat, the one that's firing all the time, you can join over on YouTube. I'm sorry, youtube.com/discjockey news. And that's where most of the people hang out on this show as we go through this. But like I said, just feel free to shout out in the chat if you're here. Last week, I'll talk about last week here in a couple minutes once we get everybody in here, because last week was different. We do once a month over on Twitch and kind of talk about music, and I did a topic over there that I probably should have done on this side, and I think I'm going to redo that topic next month on the YouTube side, because I try to save the Twitch side for specifically being able to play music, because on YouTube, if we play music like halfway through the show, then the copyright will shut the feed down halfway through the show. It's just, shut the stream down. But if we do the music over there, we can go all the way to the end before they kind of shut us down. So, all right, so Jazzy's coming from New Jersey. So, awesome. I like seeing everybody tuning in from all over the place. We normally get a lot of people from around the world. At the beginning of the year, we changed it up from 10 p.m. to 9 p.m. I don't know how people are liking that. I also don't know how you're liking some of the live shows that we're doing, like whether it be done over on Twitch. So feel free to let me know if you like the Twitch side of things. I think I just got a notification from YouTube that I went live. Yes, I've gone live, and it told me that I've gone live. So yeah, definitely holler out to me wherever you're at tonight. Say hello, all that kind of stuff. We have a really good topic tonight to cover. I want to make sure everybody gets on. I don't think we're competing with any other shows. Last night I was doing a thing and I was competing with some other shows. I didn't realize that DJ on TV was doing stuff last night. I kind of probably should have paid more attention to that. I thought they were only doing stuff on Monday, and it kind of threw me off a little bit. Because I normally don't do stuff on Tuesday, but I just happened to have a DJ lesson online, and while my equipment was set up, I decided to go ahead and just do a live set last night. Thought I was going to play a bunch of Irish music, but it ended up that everybody wanted to hear like 70s and 80s funk, and I pretty much spent at least half the night there. And it was fun. Music that I never, ever, ever, ever get to play, and I was getting to play a lot of that the other night, so I appreciate that. Again, everybody in the chat, if you're watching somewhere, just give a shout out where you're from. We always take about the first 5 or 10 minutes, something like that, and welcome everybody in. Then we get started on the topics. But I do want to again tell you about last week we did over on Twitch, and we're going to switch that. I'll tell you here in just a couple of minutes how we're going to switch that up. And for those of you who did watch last week on Twitch, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But we're going to give an opportunity for you guys who didn't watch it to get in on the topic, because I think it was a good topic. It covered some good information. And I think we're going to do it on YouTube side. So we'll cover that in a second here. So watching the chat, we got a bunch of people all over the place tonight. I appreciate that. We're on 8 different places tonight. I'm sorry. We're on 8 different things on, I think, 3 different networks. I think we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, I believe. And like I said, if you've never watched the show before, we usually are here. First couple of minutes, just welcoming everybody in, and then we'll cover the topic. And like I said, I think we have a good topic tonight. We're going to kind of have to hammer through it because there's a lot of information there. And I usually do one show a year on this topic whenever they put this out, and I want to keep doing that, so I really like that. Giverm's from Texas. All right. How's it going? Did you get much snow? Because I saw a lot of people in Texas got way more stuff than they're ever used to. So I hope you weathered the storm well and did well over there. Appreciate that. Gosh, there's so much going on. Definitely have some stuff possibly coming up soon. As I always, I like to tell you, I got projects I'm working on I can't tell you about. So some stuff's moving forward. My book's moving forward. I'm going to start looking for probably an editing company to go through that for me and help me out a little bit with that. That's probably the next step, but it'll definitely be out sometime this year. Hopefully sooner or later. I mean, I'm still under a year from when I started writing it, so I've written the book and got it to this point in under a year. So that's pretty good. But like I said, that's probably going to be my big project this year, that once that gets to a point where I can start marketing it and stuff, I'm going to probably be spending a lot of time marketing it. And of course, Jimmy Spin had to jump in the chat and throw his 5 cents in there. And he threw his 5 cents in, and I want my 2 cents back. He said he's above average. So does that mean height? Because you're a tall guy. So that's probably what he meant. He just meant that he was taller than the average DJ. So there you go. I think it's a good place to start here. Giram said he got about 4 inches of snow down there. So yeah, awesome. All right, so first things first. Last week we did a show over on Twitch about where I get my music from. And I thought a lot of people would jump on, ask questions, and we didn't get a whole lot that jumped on. So I'm going to be bringing back that topic next month, where I get my music. And we're going to do it right here on YouTube. And we're not going to be able to play music here, but I can at least talk about where I get it, ideas of places that I like, why I like them, because I think that was an important thing, that I look for certain things in music services. And that's what I kind of talked about. For those who did join in last week over on Twitch, I appreciate you guys. All right, Dean's from Costa Rica. Awesome. Thank you, Dean. Appreciate that. I love the fact that we get people all over the world, because like I always say, when I was a kid, I couldn't imagine getting to sit and do stuff like this with people all over the world. That's so cool. They're talking jag on me on my book that I'm getting out. As of right now, there's no pictures, but because the whole book's about creativity and art and all the different things I've done, I am thinking about putting some pictures in there. Maybe, I don't know, but it's more of a informational thing about creativity and my journey in it, and how the creative mind looks at the world differently, and it's just kind of a way to encourage people to embrace their creative side and stuff like that. But it goes into a lot of detail of how creativity can benefit you in a bunch of different ways. So, but yeah, so next month we're going to be bringing back the Where Do I Get My Music From show, but it'll be right here on YouTube, and that way you guys can be able to see where I get my music from, and I'll show you guys right out. I got permission from the boss to share it, so we're going to do that. But tonight we are going to cover a topic that I love going over every single year. Sometimes I go over it with John and Dan. This year I'm getting to do it by myself. It is something that it gets put out every year by Digital DJ Tips, and it is their annual census or survey, whatever word you want to use. They call it a census. But basically it covers all of the things. They ask a survey out to a bunch of people. We're going to show how many people and all that kind of stuff. Howie says he needs a picture book. I'll draw you one, Howie. There you go. But we're going to go over how many people, it covers how many people took the survey, what countries they took it from, all about the DJ world and all the different things that go on in the DJ world. And we're going to see where we all fall in on these to kind of see whether we are an average DJ, around the world. So let's get started on this. Let me move some stuff around here. Alrighty, so we're now going to show this over here. So there I am. So I'm going to move me here. It's basically the census. I'm going to move me a couple times tonight, I'm sure. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to look at some things. I know I shouldn't have done that. Put me back over here. So the census, they were saying that, where was the number at? I just read there that 32,027 people took the census, okay? And it did get a lot of the stuff that was covered by this. They're keeping it or selling it or giving it to the brands that they're talking about. And what we're seeing tonight is a kind of calmed down results thing. So it's not showing every single result from this survey, but it's showing a lot of them. And I think that's going to be something to important there. So the very first area that we're going to cover tonight and talk about, and again, we're going to see how close we are to the average DJ. Section 1 is DJ demographics and info. So let's scroll down here. And it's important, like I said, a little bit later, we'll talk about, I scrolled too far there. There we go. That is covered by people all over the world. It's not just here. So the majority of the people who filled this out are between 35 and 44. So that's, kind of middle age. I thought there would be a lot more youngers, but, this 25 to 34 is also very large. I'm not going to tell you which one I fall into, but it's not one of those two. So that one's in there. So you kind of see where you fall in there and see if you fall in the average part. We're going to move down. What is your gender? And that one, it doesn't surprise me that this industry is very dominated by men for some reason. I have no idea. In part, I don't think it's anything like that. This industry discriminates against girls or women. I think for some reason it just draws us men, and I don't understand why. Maybe it's the technology. We geek out more than, I don't know. But like I said, I don't feel that is a representation of that it is favorable towards men or treats men better. I just think for some reason we're nerds and this is our little thing. I don't know. That's the best I can come up there. Which country do you currently reside? And as you say, the majority of the people are in the United States who took this survey. Next is United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Philippines, Germany, India, New Zealand, South Africa, Netherlands. So those are our big ones that are taken on that. Are you? And this doesn't surprise me at all. The majority of the people took this are single. And that one I do fall right into. I am part of that thing. That's kind of funny. Oh, I'm just pulling my earphones out there. But yeah, so I fall into that single. The next one's married long-term, which that's good. And then we have other ones in there that you can look at. So again, I'm faring pretty good aside from, what was the one that I didn't fit into? I wasn't there. I was average. So I'm pretty average on all these so far. My employment status. And this is something that I think is neat to look at. Because this one and the next one I think are important to look at. It is, what is your employment status in full-time employment, freelance, self-employed, student, part-time, etc. This one, because the survey was filled out in 2020, I'm sure people were filling out that they normally are as opposed to right then. Because when I filled it out in 2020 when all this was going on. And this is the one that I always think is important, that you look at how many people make 75 to 100% of their income from DJing. So we're talking about 5%. Only 5% of people who call themselves DJs are full-time DJs, make 100% of their money or darn close to that from DJing. I do fall into that one, so I'm in the lowest one of that. But look how many people make no money from DJing that call themselves DJs. And I always thought that was kind of interesting. So the three biggest ones are people who make a quarter or less of their income from DJing that make up the bulk of DJing. And I always thought that was kind of neat. That number's out almost every sing. I guess the questions there were before COVID, so I think that was in the questionnaire. I don't quite remember that. But I think it's kind of neat that we're looking at that like that. But like I said, I fall into that. I'm part of that 76 to 100. I'm the small group here. What percentage of your incoming comes from DJing right now? That I would have fell into the zero since the COVID. But that's, it is what it is. But it apparently, for some people, if you look at those two numbers, it didn't affect as many people. So us going out of work didn't really affect all that many people because a lot of them didn't get paid a lot for that. So it's interesting. Like I said, you guys can throw in any questions. I'll try to keep reading the chat. If you have any questions about this or points that you want to discuss or my opinion on, feel free to. But right now we're going to move on to section number 2. What type of DJ are you and experience do you have? And how long have you been DJing? 10 years plus, I fall into that. I just started in November, my 33rd year of being paid as a DJ. But we look at some of this. The next biggest group is 1 to 3 years. A lot of people just started. I would like to see on this if they would ever cover, because of COVID. I know a lot of people quit DJing, and I'm kind of curious how many people this would change because of them getting out of DJing to try to find a more steady and reliable income. But that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so majority, I fall into that one. I'm curious where everybody else falls into. How often do you play in public in normal times? So occasionally for parties is a lot. Play in public every now and then is a big one. Play in public regularly. Never played, and used to years ago, not now. So I fall into this regular part right there. This is about the only time in life that I'm part of the normal crowd. Is this, it's it's the only time that I'm like normal is this survey. Do you live stream your DJ sets? I fall into that one there. Some people have tried, because I know a lot of people that tried and then quit. Some people just completely not interested, and other people don't want to. It's all. I don't think there's a right or wrong. Don't think of it being a right or wrong for anything of this. It is just simply what people do. And like I said, see where you fall in. Like I said, when we get through all this, I definitely want to hear some of you in the chat tell me how you fared against this. So keep an eye on these things and kind of see how you fare against them. Where do you be? Do you think you'll be? I can't even read. Do you think you will still be streaming your DJ sets this time next year? I think I don't remember what I put there, because part of me wants to say sure, because I always stream a little. I've never streamed every week like I do now, but before I would do it just because I like doing it. But I honestly don't know if I will go back to DJing online once I go back to work. Because if I'm DJing like I was before, I'm out 3 nights a week. I don't know if I'm going to want to do another night of DJing that doesn't, make an income. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. Which platform do you use? A lot of people still hitting up Facebook, again, with their rules that they dropped on October 1st, that they can actually, if you get a couple of strikes, they can literally take your Facebook page away from you. And so that's why I don't do that. Twitch is up there. I'm on Twitch every week. Instagram's tough. They shut you down quick. I simulcast on Twitch and YouTube, and usually about halfway through my set, my YouTube gets shut down. Mixcloud's a good place to be. Others. Restream. That's funny that they put Restream in there, because Restream isn't a place, it's a service. And technically, if you are watching me right now, you are watching me broadcast through Restream. So all of tonight's broadcast all go to Restream, and then it goes out to 8 different places. So I don't know whether you would count that Restream or where. I know, because what the people are saying, their Facebook or whatever. But technically, in this circle of things here, I would fall into the Restream. What type of DJ are you before COVID? And I was upset because Awesome wasn't in here. I'm kidding. Please don't yell at me. Bedroom hobbyist is the biggest. Keep that in mind. Mobile and wedding is number 2. DJ producer is in there. You got to keep in mind there's a large group of people out there who make music and then go out and DJ their music as part of a promotion thing. And that's a big chunk of the audience. Just for fun at parties. Club and resident, that's where I would fit in there. I would actually fit in these two. bar, lounge, pub, and then others, touring DJs, radio DJs, and scratch performance DJs. So, I think most of you probably fall into this category here or one of these other ones down here. What type of DJ do you want to be? And I always think this is kind of interesting because we have a whole bunch of people who are bedroom hobbyists. The touring DJ is quite small, but you look at that, touring DJ is what everybody wants to be. DJ producer is what everybody wants to be. Club DJ is what everybody wants to be. And then we move down to mobile DJ. I always thought that was kind of interesting, that every time it's like that, to where you see the numbers for, these are down further, touring club DJs, but yet again, they're at the top every time of what they want to be. I think I put on there touring also because I think that would fit for me. Just because it's different than a bar, because if you're out on tour, you don't have to worry about taking requests, and that's part of my draw to that, why I like that so much. But like I said, it's kind of interesting what people are and what people want to be. Like I said, I really think that's interesting. Have you spent more time on DJing due to changes brought about by COVID? I think I put yes because I focused on a lot of stuff, but yet again, when I'm DJing, normally I'm DJing 3 nights a week, so 3 or 4 nights a week, depending on what I'm doing. So I spend a lot of time anyways, but I don't know. It's some people took it as a break. I'm trying to do that right now as we get to the point where we're starting to go back to work. I think that I'm trying to learn to take some relaxing time so that I'll at least have taken some when I go back to work, not instead of just working all the way through. But obviously, like I said, because I wrote the book that I was telling you about, that was a lot of my time I invested in other things. How would you describe your DJ skill level? They didn't have hashtag killing it, so I think I don't know if I put highly proficient or confident, still learning, because by this time, as many years as I've been DJing, if I don't feel I fit into this category right here, I need to do more practicing. That's the thing that I look at this, is that if I've been DJing this long and I can't fit into this category, there's something wrong. So that's the way I looked at that, But a humble way to say it is I'm, confident, but I'm still learning, because I am still learning. Everybody's still learning. But I think, like I said, I put that because if I'm not by now, then I'm doing something wrong. Do you produce your own music? I put yes. I put out a bunch of albums. This surprises me not in it. Well, kind of, because a lot of people want to be that touring, DJ producer that makes money, wants to be the dead mouse and all that kind of stuff. So, do you play a musical instrument? That would be yes for me. So it surprised me that this many say no, because I know so many DJs that are drummers. It's not even funny. But I thought there'd be more on there. So, but pianos top, guitar, drums and percussion, that's where I would fit in. Pianos and the drums and percussion, that's what I fit in. Pad machines, which I've done that. Vocalist, I fit into that. I put out 6 vocal albums in my lifetime, and I fit into that. But I'm not doing that as much anymore, like it was. Next section, which I think really fits a lot of people: a DJ setup, hardware, software, etc. So, how do we want to fit in here? What is your main setup? So the majority of people are controller and laptop DJs. Now this section here we're about to get to, this is what made me want to cover on this show this thing, because I got into a discussion with a friend of mine who has just as many years in the business as I am. He is extremely successful. He is a guy that likes to use vinyl, or he just got a set of Rain 12s and he loves them. So that's his world. He does not use a controller ever. And when we got going through some of these statistics, he couldn't understand why so many people didn't do things like he did. And that's the thing that a lot of people have to realize, that me working for Disc Jockey News, I get to meet a lot of different types of DJs. And all y'all think that every other DJ does it the way you do. And that's the funniest thing. The people who do, like I said, that use the turntables, they think the majority of people use turntables. And people who use a controller think the majority of people use a controller. And other people who don't even use a controller, they just use a laptop. And like, everybody I know uses a laptop. They don't even use a controller. So, everybody's a mobile DJ. Everybody's a club DJ. And it's funny that you all think that everybody does it your way. And there's a big difference. And we're going to take a look at here in this next section some of the stuff that goes on with that. Back to here. Controller laptops number 1, club setup is number 2, CDJs. That was the other thing I asked him. I said, when he tours, because like I said, he likes to use turntables. I said, when you tour, what do you see mostly? And he said he sees CDJs mostly when he goes out, to the different clubs around the country. All-in-one controller, that's the stuff like the Denon or the new Pioneer. That's probably going to become more popular. I don't like them, at least yet. They're not there for me yet. And there's others. There's your laptop-only DJ, which there's still a lot of them. Nothing's still looking. That's again a person filling out a DJ survey and nothing. And we still have digital ones for iPads and iPhones type things. So that's an audience. So don't forget that. What is the main brand of hardware? This is where that he was amazed by, because he thought Rane would be way up the list. And I'm like, well, you got to think about it. I said, prior to this year when Rane dropped the Rane 1, Rane made 2 pieces of equipment. They made 1 mixer and 1 controller, turntable, whatever you want to call it, because it technically is a controller. And I said, that's it. So he thought that everybody he knows, he goes, everybody I know owns them. And I'm like, well, I said, again, back to us looking at things differently. I said, I know probably at least 20 or 30 people that own them, but I know thousands who own a controller. And I said, so you kind of have to look at things like that. But Pioneer's up there because Pioneer covers every type of DJ. If you're a club DJ, Pioneer has stuff for you. Pardon me, if you're a wedding DJ, Pioneer has stuff for you. If you're a bar DJ, Pioneer has equipment for you. If you're a DJ that plays around, Pioneer has DJ equipment for you. If you're a beginner, Pioneer has DJ equipment for you. If you have thousands of dollars to spend, Pioneer has something for you. That's why they're up there, because it doesn't matter what type of DJ you are, they're going to have something for you. The other thing I wanted to point out is him and I were both surprised, but how many people still use tractor equipment? Because I don't know anybody that uses this stuff anymore, but apparently a lot of people do. So I would be interested in finding out the niche of where they're coming from. The other thing we talked about was Denon, and I feel that they're going to slip down even further because they discontinued the 7000. They still have the 8000, but the rest of their stuff is the standalones, and a lot of people just don't want to mess with that. So I have a feeling next year they're going to be down a little bit further. Techniques, again, he couldn't believe the Techniques were down that far. He was blown away. I'm like, again, it's not as big as audience as you think. Hercules is in there because Hercules sells a lot of cheap stuff, and people don't want to spend a lot of money for stuff, so that's why they're in there. Then Roland, and again, Reloop, and on down and on down. So, moving on. Do you own hardware from other brands? Again, these are Pioneer being up there. That was probably people who own something else that owned a piece of Pioneer. Newmark's up there because Newmark has a lot of cheaper equipment, so everybody has backup Newmarks. Again, Tractor's in there, and I just don't understand it. But I also think it's funny that Denon is there, but Denon is down further. So a lot of people, Denon is not their backup, it's their main, and they have something else like a Pioneer as their backup. They have, et cetera, so on and so forth. Techniques is their backup. So these are people who use controllers, use different things, but they still have turntables, and they're still using them. Which of these do you have and use regularly? Windows. He was also blown out of his mind by the fact that the majority of DJs use Windows. And I'm like, dude, you just got to get out of your tiny pocket of people. I said, that's all there is to it. Pardon me, I'm going to take a drink here. I'm coughing. I've been in the studio all working all day today doing videos and different things, so voiceovers and stuff like that. So, but yeah, Windows is up there, Max number 2. Again, everybody who dogs on Windows, I had somebody dog on me in Vegas last year. Right there, have lunch on it all you want. Have lunch on it all you want. What software do you use? Now, this also surprised me by Tractor being so high. So I need to meet some of y'all who are using Tractor equipment and software. I want to get to know the types of DJ you are, what you do, where you're at. So this surprises me. So please, I'm not making fun of you. I want to find out where you're from because like I said, I do this show. I travel around. I literally don't know a single human being that uses Tractor, but you're out there. So please talk to me. Virtual's down there. I thought Virtual would be a little bit higher. Rekordbox is there because Pioneer gives Rekordbox away with everything you buy. So them being the highest selling hardware company, they're going to give away copies of that. So that's going to be a thing, so that's why it's there. And Serato, those of you, we talked about this on a show with John a few weeks ago, that you don't really realize that if you buy a controller and it says Serato on it and it comes with Serato, The company didn't go, hey, let's bundle Serato in there. Serato paid to have their software and name on that package. That's it. So you're getting all these controllers that come with Serato. It's not the company of, Newmark or something going, hey, let's do something with Serato and let's get Serato on board. And no, it's Serato going, hey, we'll pay you money to put our stuff in your thing. And that's where it's going. So Virtual doesn't do that. And they're up there. Again, I'm a Virtual fan. I'm not gonna hang on this for a while, but that shouldn't surprise anybody. The Juiced and Mix is in there, so don't forget about that. What software do you mainly use to make music? It doesn't surprise me. Ableton's up there. I've used Ableton. I've tried Serato. I've done the other Pro Tools, GarageBand, Cubase I used for a long time. So that doesn't surprise me. Ableton is a butt kicker. I love it. What is your favorite gear released in the last 12 months? That surprised me that Pioneer CDJ 3000 was up there because I thought it would be a controller, and I definitely did not think Denon's Prime 2 would be in there at all. I thought that maybe like the 1000. Well, the 1000 was released over a year ago. So if you look in the last 12 months, we didn't have a lot to pick from. So I'm guessing that's why that's there, because there wasn't a whole lot released. The Pioneer DJ Flex was also released. So these were all ones that were released. So you look at some of the stuff that is on the list of stuff that was released. The Prime 2 is kind of very small audience. Again, it's one of those standalones. The Denon Prime Go is that little one. That's going to be even smaller part of the audience. The V10 is if I'm correct, that's that one weird rotary mixer. The 6000, the Denon 6000s, again, that's a small audience of people who want to do that. The Rain 12 MK2. This is a kind of an updated version of the Rain 12. So a lot of people have the Rain 12, didn't necessarily need to get the MK2, but they do. So, but again, I think it's kind of neat to look at this. I also thought that the S11 would be in there and higher, but it wasn't. So, moving on. This is one that I always get opinionated about. Musical styles and sourcing of tunes. So, again, if you weren't here at the top of the hour, we did a show on Twitch last week that I covered where I get my music from, because that's the number one question I always get is, MJ, where do you get your music from? And I covered it last week over on Twitch, because on Twitch we can play some music without getting busted on copyrights. But I thought it was such an interesting topic that I want to bring it back next month here on YouTube. So sometime next month, I'm going to be doing a YouTube one covering all the places I get music from and have gotten music from. And I'm going to show you why I picked them and stuff like that. So let's get back into this, because I still want to take your questions and comments at the end and stuff like that. What best describes your DJ style? Again, they did not have hashtag killing it, so I had to pick something else. I'm a mixed DJ. There's simple about that. I mix open format, stuff like that. But you can see where you fit in there. What genre do you mostly play when DJing out? It surprised me that we have that many house music people, especially here in the United States, unless they just, Digital DJ Tips has a following that does that. I thought it would be more of like hip-hop, R&B, or top 40 pop, I thought would be in there, because this is where it gets funny that I also want to point out, and that's when you get into some of the music stuff that I do, that right now, some people who are older like me consider pop a style of music. I consider pop any song that falls in like the Billboard top 40. Simple as that. It can be hip hop, rap, country, rock. Once it hits there, it's a pop song. Drake is a pop artist because every single song he puts out hits the pop charts. And that's the way I see it. So that's why I would say that there should be more, but I know a lot of people will subgenre very quickly on stuff like that. So, pardon me. What other styles of music do you love listening to? Mine's the top two right there. Not the top two, but the top one, EDM. That's where I'm at. Pretty much screw the rest of that. I don't even care. But I have to play it, so I download it and stuff like that. So, how much music do you buy music from online download stores? Yes, but it's funny that we have 35% that don't buy their music. So that covers a little bit of next month. I mean, when we cover where I get my music from, there's a portion of people that still get it from illegal places. They're not even paid illegal places. These are just people that are YouTube downloading or getting it from their friends, stuff like that. So that's a large portion right there. Which store do you currently use to get your music regularly from? It surprised me that these ones are that high. Bandcamp, sorta. Amazon Music, that surprised me. None of the ones that I use are on here, because my first one is BPM Supreme, and then there's other ones after that. But I really thought that there would be ones like Club Killers, there DJ City, Beat Source is on there. Is Beatport on there? So, yeah, Beatport's number one, which that doesn't surprise me. So it's a general audience that is filling this out, that you can tell, because Beatport is an EDM only download service. So whatever you're getting from Beatport, it's EDM-ish. I don't want to say 100% EDM, but EDM-ish. It's in that genre. So kind of neat. I don't know. I still think it's slightly skewed. Do you use a streaming music service? Yes. I now have switched from Spotify to YouTube Music. I absolutely love YouTube Music, and I want to do a whole show about it. I love it so much. Because like on YouTube, if you wanted to go listen to a mix of an hour of house music, people put their mixes up there that you can listen to for an hour of a certain genre. You can listen to those on the YouTube app, so it doesn't have to be just songs on the YouTube Music app. You can listen to the whole mixes, and that's why I love it. But I'm also a big fan of Spotify. And it said, which ones do you subscribe to? Spotify's up there. YouTube Music is down below there. SoundCloud Go Plus. Again, this is a lot of people who are music makers that fall into that they listen to where they're getting stuff from. Apple Music. I thought Apple Music would take up a little bit more, but it's surprising. I mean, they're number 2, but I just thought they would take up a little bit more. Tidal, I think that's changing since they just got sold out. I don't know. I don't understand Amazon Music at all. I own Amazon Prime, and it's useless to me. Deezer's in there. Deezer's kind of worldwide. That's the thing. So Deezer is out of France, if I'm correct, and it's bigger over there. It's exactly the same as Spotify. It actually has 1 million more songs than Spotify, but it has less subscribers. But it's in there. Go on a little bit further. Do you subscribe to a download pool? This is where I think the other ones, like I said. Oh, by the way, just to let you know, I did not look at these prior to the show in purposely to give you guys an honest reaction. So the next one is, do you subscribe to a download pool? This is where the ones I was talking about before are probably going to fall into. So we'll see where that goes. I don't know what's coming up next. Do you subscribe to download pool? I do. A lot of people do not. So again, people aren't paying for music. As many people as you think are DJs are not paying for music. Keep that in mind. Which ones do you subscribe to? BPM Supreme! That's the one I told you. This is the ones where I thought everybody would be at, the DJ City. Other specific are the ones that like I do, like the Static City DJ, that don't fall into anything. But next month I will talk about them. And if you joined me last week on Twitch, when I covered this, you understood a lot of that. Digital DJ pool, my MP3 pool, promo only. For those who think that promo only rules the world, it does not. Club Killers, I kind of thought they'd be up there, but they are kind of genre specific. And the other ones are just kind of interesting. Direct Music Service I also thought would be a little bit higher, because they have a lot of people who have been loyal to them for a long, long time, is why I think that's there. And social media, section 5. Again, I'm trying to bust through this so I can take your questions and we can talk about this at the end. What social medias do you use regularly? Facebook. People say Facebook's dead. They've been saying this for years. People still use Facebook. They just use it differently. And that's the thing that I think people need to understand. That when people go to Facebook, they aren't going to Facebook to necessarily check out other people's stuff, their business. What they're doing is it's like a news blog of their friends. What are my friends up to right now? Johnny's buying a blue shirt, that sort of thing. But when it comes to pushing in the industry, it's going to fall into the other ones. Not saying that people don't use Facebook for that, but people who are saying it's dead, it's still there. It's just used differently. Some of them are used as communication. Some of them are used as direct contact with specific people by hashtags and whatnot. Facebook is kind of like a wide open, hey, what's going on sort of thing. So top of it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Again, I guess you can call YouTube a social media. It's more of a platform to me, but yeah, sure. Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. I bet you're surprised that TikTok is so low, because a lot of people are like, well, everybody uses TikTok. A certain age group of people use TikTok. For the rest of us, those videos popping and popping and popping, it's tough for us. But keep in mind that who was it that just released? YouTube just released a thing called YouTube Shorts. It hasn't been, they're still in like the final testing. So some people have it, some people don't. But it is basically like TikTok, but it's YouTube Shorts. It's their way to compete with TikTok. So that's coming your way. Which of the DJ websites do you visit at least once a week? Every year I write in disc jockey news, but apparently not enough people write in disc jockey news. I definitely do digital DJ tips. I do Mix Mag. I do DJ Mag more than that. And that's about it. Crossfader occasionally, not very often, but that's kind of, I mean, there's other ones I go to too. What was the one? My EDM is one I go to a lot. Again, I like the EDM music, but they cover a lot of stuff. Looking a little further, what YouTube channels are you currently subscribed to? Digital DJ tips. Yes, I think this is where I think I am subscribed to Crossfaders and DJ Tech Tools on YouTube. I am. And I'm subscribed to DJ City on there. That's all the ones that I'm subscribed to on YouTube. How much would you say you spend watching DJ content on YouTube each week? I know mine was low because I'm overwhelmed in this business, so the point of what I do a lot of times is simply just to get information to share with you guys. So I don't spend a lot of time watching other DJs DJ, and that's even my friends who DJ on Twitch. I apologize for not spending time with you. For those who join in on my streams, I appreciate that. But when I'm done DJing, I just don't want to hear music or watch other people DJ, so I apologize. Again, that's why I said at the top of the hour when the one question come across there that once you get back to work, will you still stream? I'm not sure I will because, I max out because I'm DJing, that many nights. You just it wears on your brain, and so I don't fit into that 1 to 2 hours a week. And all of mine is usually research kind of stuff. So when you watch stuff, when you watch DJ stuff on YouTube, is it mainly for educational or fun? So mean is educational, which is a lot of people. So, yeah. And that's the end of the survey there. They have other things tossed in with this information. But like I said, a lot of their stuff goes out that isn't on here, that goes out to the world of, the sellers, the brands, and all that different stuff. So we still got some time left. If you guys have questions or comments, you want to do this, throw them in the chat. I'm paying attention to the chat. I definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like I said, keep in mind that we're doing some different things here, and we're going to be coming back next month with where I get my music from. We're going to talk about that. Next week is open question. I think it's going to be open question night because open question night's usually, the fourth Wednesday, but we have 5 this month, so I don't know what I'm going to fill in. I still haven't got a person to interview. I may drop the interview thing because I'm not a big fan of interview stuff. If you guys like that, let me know if you'd like to see me interview people or give me people that you'd like to see interview. It's not me. I was going to try to get a hold of one of the Rain Ones, and that was going to be my interview one night. I was going to interview the Rain One, is why it's so awesome. But hey, whatever. So yeah, definitely hit me up in the chat right now. Doesn't matter where you're watching. I'm picking up the chat from all the different places. Questions you have, comments, things you might want to cover, get my opinion on. But I think it was a good topic night. I like doing this each year because I think it kind of it's not about validating me that I fit in as an average DJ. It's just I like to look at it because I think that I get to see all different types of DJs, and this kind of shows you that your type, whatever your type is, your type isn't everybody. And that's the thing. Like I said, with my friend and I were talking about that and the fact that he didn't understand the equipment. And I said, you got to understand. I said, yes, a lot of people that do what you do it on turntables. They do it on Rain 12s, all that kind of stuff. But you got to understand there are thousands of people that own multiple controllers. And that's just... that's what they do. So anybody else in the chat got anything else they want to talk about? You guys were talking there for a while, and then you're quiet. Am I still alive? Hello? Let me think what's going on. I have a video dropping tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. on a new thing that Virtual has just done, and I think you'll find it very interesting. I did film it last night with the setup, so you get to see what the setup looks like with all the bright lights on, as opposed to when you watch the stream and it's blinking and stuff like that. So that's coming up. And if you're watching this on demand, go watch it. It's there. It would have been released on Thursday, March 18th. So I think that's about it, because the survey gives you a worldwide view of DJs. Yes, that's kind of why I look at it, because it gives you a shotgun of things and lets you see stuff. I've got to get a chair that doesn't spin so that I sit, because I do this constantly. So here, I'm going to sit. But I do think it gives you a view of other people that lets you understand that, that there are different people out there in the world that DJ totally differently. And that's the thing that I think you kind of have to take in and accept the fact that when you meet other DJs that don't DJ like you, don't look down upon them, because they have their audience, they have their fans, they have their ways they make money, all kinds of stuff like that. DJ Adrian's talking about his main set and his practice set. Yeah, everybody has that. I think I'm going to be changing soon. I can't talk about it. I don't even know about it yet, but I'm looking into some stuff. Like I said, I'm in this year. I'm in the mood for taking changes. So I'm trying. Like I said, I'm doing stuff at the studio. I'm going to be doing some other stuff. I'm splitting out on things. I'm still doing the DJ classes. So if you are interested in anything, now's a good time to grab them before the season gets busy. If you want to grab some basic lessons, or if you're a beginner and you want to know about hey, help me learn about my software, help me learn about my hardware. I did a class yesterday, and it was basically just. The guy wanted to know about his controller. He's brand new to DJing, and he wanted to know how different buttons worked and stuff like that. And that's basically what the class was about. We took button by button, talked about how it worked and how you could change it to work a different way if you wanted it to work differently, and purposes and stuff like that. So that's always out there. But definitely check me out on all the DJ Michael Joseph on all the social medias. Take some time to click like on this if you can. Share, because the more clicks we get, the more shows I'll do like this. Like I said, when we get back to the normal DJ world, I don't know what my life's going to be like. So, if we get a lot of people that like this and I get a lot of views, I'll continue it. But maybe if I go back to work regularly, I might have to go back to every other week or something like that instead of every Wednesday. But I like hanging out with you guys, so I appreciate that. Also, don't forget that we still have the DJ Chill Room going on, DJ and TV Chill Room. That's djntv.com/chill. And if someone in the chat can throw that in the chat so everybody knows. But every single night around 9, 10, 11 o'clock Eastern time, people pile in there and they talk and they hang out. It's not like going in there and DJing. It's just people talking about anything. You have questions about equipment or you want to talk about anything, that's a place to go and hang out. So with that said, you guys hung in with me the whole time. I appreciate that. Again, I'll be back next week. DJ and TV has some cool stuff going on both this month and next month, so please pay attention to all their stuff on that. Thank you guys for the thumbs up. Thank you all for the thumbs up. I'm trying to think anything else I need to cover. I don't know. So definitely hit me up also with any ideas for show ideas that if you have. I'm always looking for ideas for that, people that you want me to interview, different things like that. So with that said, thank you guys again for hanging out. As I always try to end my show on a positive thing, as we're starting to see a little bit of light coming out of this whole thing, don't get too anxious. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Take a breath and take a beat and prepare yourself and be willing to reach out to those around you that need help. Because that's, again, I'm not going to look for other people, some elected official. No one's going to help us but us. So we have to be there for each other. Learn to be kind towards each other. That's one thing that I've been pushing myself because I don't think I'm kind enough, and I want to work on that for myself. So be there for each other. That's my encouragement. Be kind. Try. Because that's all I'm trying to do is try to be kind. So that's about it. Again, hit me up with any questions, any topics, anything else.